welcome to today's round table episode. This is our third episode at the Valo round table. And today we're going to have a bit of a different conversation, or the way in which we're going to introduce the conversation is going to be different. We're going to be playing some games with our guests that we are having. Our first game is going to be hot takes. Our second game is going to be green flag, red flag. And finally, nightmare scenarios. And I'm sure all of you are going to be able to participate in the comment section in these games. What are some of the nightmare scenarios you've had when you are applying for jobs? Have you perhaps been ghosted before in the past? Did you perhaps think that you are joining a Teams interview, but it was a Zoom interview, and you realized 5 minutes before and you don't even have a Zoom account? These are the scenarios that we're going to unpack in this episode with you. And I hope that you will stay tuned and have just as much fun as what we will have with our guests today. In today's episode at the Valo Round Table, I have with me Given Mahlangu, who is our Learning and Quality Assurance Coordinator in the Value Creation Department. Then I have the lady amongst all of us. I have Tato Tosane, who is an assistant facilitator within the Value Delivery Department. And last but not least, I have Jabulani Malindi, who is a Value Creation Coordinator at Valo. Now guys, for us to start, today is going to be a bit of a different episode that we're having. We're having an introduction of some games, but still focusing on the topic at hand and to see what everybody's thoughts are on the various games that we're having. And our very first game is called Hot Takes. And in Hot Takes, we have with us here random statements. And each person is going to be asked about that statement. They will draw it, and then they must give their thoughts on that statement, and so will everybody else. Jablani, you are the first participant in Hot Takes. Tell us what your statement says.
The statement says, send a LinkedIn connection request to the hiring manager before you even get an interview. I would say, I truly believe it's okay to send a hiring manager a LinkedIn connection. I think you should be able to know and understand the person you are going to have an interview with, because LinkedIn is a powerful a social media platform which you can be able to know and understand and get to know more about the person that is going to be interviewing you.
Tato, your thoughts?
Connecting with the manager is a good idea. And the reason for that is you can get to know who the person is, read more about them, and maybe get a chance to understand more about the company.
Yes, I also agree with the both. Because also, besides you knowing about the company and the manager, it also helps them, if you get the interview, to know more about you, because you will be sharing your experiences and your values about the particular job on LinkedIn as well. And it will be make them easy to know more about you. So yeah.
Okay, so mine is two ways. The first is that you don't necessarily need to connect with a person to see their profile and know who they are or what they're about and so forth, right? But secondly, it does play to your advantage in the sense that it leaves a memory, because now if you connected with someone, remember the statement says before even an interview has been offered. So if somebody is still looking at your CV, perhaps this can make them remember, or it gives them that thing in their head, because you've now invited them or you've connected with them on LinkedIn, and then when they get your CV, it's like, this name sounds familiar. It's playing on the psychology of a human being, which a lot of hiring actually has a lot of psychology involved in it. Tato, you are next.
Okay. Job hopping every 18 months is the only way to get a real raise these days. I don't think so. No. Because When applying for a job, yes, you are gonna get payment offer, but it doesn't mean when you move from one job to the other you're gonna get a higher offer. Yeah.
Yes, I agree with that too. It's funny, there's a conversation I had with Tatu sometime is that if you were to move at one company to the other, right, you must always think about what are you taking from the company in sense of what have you learned, what have you grown from, that is going to be of value to the next company. So I think most of the time learning takes time as well because you need to grow a long way. Like if you learn something at Novalo, you also have to prove to Novalo that this is what I've learned. So every 18 months, and it doesn't guarantee that because if you've learned that, going to the next job, if you bring that, you're gonna get a higher raise. It could be similar or even lesser from what you came from.
And I think, the similar thought, I'm not a big fan of people hopping and changing all the time from job to job because, firstly, it also doesn't really allow you to become stable and really learn. Essentially, whenever you join a new company, it takes you 3 to 6 months to get accustomed with their culture, with the way of doing things, and then that leaves you only with another 12 months where it is a bit too short for you to really start growing and knowing what it is that you want. And also, just for hiring managers, you start they will question even hiring you based on you clearly are just hopping and changing. And we all know that money is not everything because you can do those hop and changes and leave an environment or culture that is really fitting and good for you and go to a place that might not be, and you might not be welcomed back at the old place when you now decide, actually, I made a mistake here.
Yeah, I might think from my side, it might be a good sign some other way to say like we are living in an economic, like there's no stability in our economy. And we have also like things that we have to do with things like what can I say? Like things that we have to manage in our lives, and also like it needs money, and also so I believe that like 18 months is quite enough for a raise, and like in order, like I think you have proven yourself more than enough to get a raise in 18 months, and if that doesn't make, I think a higher raise on another company will be better.
So Jablani, you are saying that if they can't give you a raise, then it should be your sign essentially of get the better or that raise from somewhere else.
Yes, I think that's a better way to make it than to stay where you are and you don't get a raise while on the other side you are suffering financially. Yes, you are suffering financially, and you are putting your work, you are putting your days and everything in place, and you're not getting anything in return.
And I do think that it depends on people. People are different. It depends what are your responsibilities, your commitments that you have in your life. Some people really need that acceleration because of whatever responsibilities, but some people who are looking for actual growth and stability in growth, then it becomes a different thing. Or some people who are looking for a real fit of whatever purpose that they might have. And remember, all of us, our drivers are different. Some people are driven by money, and that's completely fine. Others are driven by other things. So you will look at what it is for you, I trust. Kevin, over to you.
Okay.
I can't reach that far.
All right. My statement says if a job application requires you to retype your resume into their portal after uploading the PDF, you should abandon the application immediately. So this is actually a total no-no. Okay. We know of ATS. So sometimes the applications they use ATS to read our resumes so that it can fit into their system. So probably the time where it wants you to retype it, some things will not properly captured, and they want you to recapture it so that they can have the correct information about yourself. Yes, it might take time, but again, that's the time that you can use to get yourself the particular job and hopefully get the interview. So running away immediately, it's a total no. Yes.
I completely agree with you, Given. It is frustrating though, because I've experienced this and it's also time consuming, but it is part of the time that you need to allocate if you are in the job market, essentially. Because you are completely right that it gives you an advantage, because some people upload CVs that are scanned and the ATS is not going to pick up your CV. But now when you clearly type out where they ask qualifications, education, whatever, then there is no room for that mistake of it can't read it kind of a thing. So it actually gives you a better safety net, and it allows also the bias element of how a CV looks, because if everyone is uploading information, it's all going to look the same for all the people that are applying.
I do agree as well. So yeah, it's definitely a total no. You can't abandon like a job application because of like it needs you to add some information on it. I think the more you take time to apply, the more that like you give yourself time, you added information, and it makes that job application more like it took your time to. Yes, so I think I do believe as well, which we don't have to abandon that job application and just continue with applying.
I also agree. The reason is because sometimes when you apply, when it comes to retyping your information, you can go into more detail, especially with the qualifications. For example, with psychology, when applying for psychology posts, there's different kinds of psychology. So during that application, you can state that I did so and so psychology and so forth. So yeah.
Awesome. My turn. So my statement says, culture fit is just a code word for hiring people who look and act exactly like the current team. Interesting. Interesting. And I'm the one who's getting this. I don't think so. I think that having the right culture, different companies, and we could even be the same company and different branches. Every branch has their own culture, their own way of doing things. And you would see this because somebody would move from this branch to the next and be unhappy, but they were very happy at the other one. I do think it does matter, because sometimes if you get somebody who doesn't fit the culture or the environment that you have already built and established, it could also disrupt what you already have, because you could get somebody in who is really, for whatever, they're toxic to everybody else, or they're just not bonding or gelling with everybody else. So this is not to say that you must get people who are the same. Culture fit does not mean getting the same kind of people who look the same, speak the same. No. Culture fit means that, and I can speak from our perspective at Valo, culture fit is somebody who can clearly understand what we're about. So for us, if a person did not understand that at our why we exist to break the cycle of poverty through education, and they don't connect with the power of education, they don't connect with making a difference in our society, that's going to become a problem, because wherever we go, they aren't going to understand why we're doing what it is that we're doing. And in our teams, we have people who are vastly different, but they all understand the why, and they're all driven by the why. So that's my thoughts on this. Jablan, what are your thoughts?
Yes, from my side, I would say, I think culture is part of a company, and we all should be part of that culture. And in order for all of us to be getting together and be able to communicate and make sure things go properly in such a way, we need that culture fit. And it's not to say if the person comes in and then doesn't have that culture towards us, that person can learn and be able to join that culture and be able to get involved with the team and everyone involved at that particular job or company.
I'd say culture fit is very important in the workspace because it can help one adapt, especially in cases whereby we have to do teamwork, so we can work together and have an understanding. Unlike if one person is different from everyone, it's going to be very difficult to try and work together because we won't be able to reach the end goal. We'll have differences going back and forth, and it's going to be a challenge.
Mm. Okay, I share the same sentiments with Utato. Like, I feel like when you are doing the same thing, you working as a group, right? You can move faster together. Say, for instance, that we have a value or like team update meeting, and we share things that we've done and what we are going to do, and we give an understanding of what is done and how it's done, right? You get to understand how the other person operates, even when they are not able to be at work and something has to be done. You know how it's done because of you understand the culture of how this is done, because you have seen Tato is able to help Jabulani when Jabulani cannot reach that goal because of maybe personal reason. So cultures are created just to have a unity in a workplace. I wanted to say that. Mm-hmm. So it's not because of we want you to be in that certain way, but we want to have unity in a workplace. So I think that's the reason why cultures are existing in organizations or in companies.
And I think just, on some of the points even Jabulani mentioned, and I thought about it now, given when you were speaking, that it's like a family, right? Because, and I know other people will, and I'm not saying that organizations must be families, that's not what I'm saying, but I want to say that similarly to each family does the certain things differently. So we can all be Pedi, but under your house, you guys do things this way. Exactly. And even your uncle's house, under his house, yes, you guys are in the extended picture, you are family, just like as I said with the branches. But they do certain things their way. And sometimes it takes the visitor adjusting to that family. I know a funny example that people always adjust to when they come visit our houses. We don't eat that much. So like my serving of pap at my house is probably the size of my fist. And then you have people who visit us and their servings is like this. And it's a shock to the system. But we can both work together. We also we dish up more for them because we understand. But they'll also now be aware, when I visit at Tuli's house, this is how they dish up. Maybe they will have a streetwise too before they come have dinner with our family. Okay, we're going to go to round 2 on this game, our last and final round. Jabulani, you thought we were done?
Yeah, I thought we were done. Oh yes. Mine says video resumes and TikTok applications are the future, and paper resumes will be obstacle in the 5 years time. Wow. I think as well from my side, paper applications are in the 5 years gonna be done with, yes, and we're moving towards ATS and online applications. But I don't believe TikTok application should be part of the job applications. TikTok is an entertainment platform and it shouldn't be part of our job applications and the way we do apply. And video applications are a lot, so like it just like takes a lot on a person. I think if we just have like an online application and then that's it, we going further to having video applications that like it takes a toll on a person. That's my take.
I agree to disagree with this statement.
I agree to disagree.
Especially with the video part. I agree with Jabulani. Having to take a video for an interview can be a lot to do. So I think I prefer to the resume, either submitting your CV or having to retype it. Because also with the video, I feel that one can miss out on certain information, and that lessens their chance of actually getting an interview. So, yeah.
Okay. I'm thinking about a lot of things. Okay, I think with TikTok, we just need to be very careful because I'm thinking when I'm saying a lot of things is like the type of job you're applying for. Does it require me to speak to people, post on TikTok to get more clients and everything? I'm looking at that job that where you have to be on camera most of the time, advertising your brand or the company. Well, you need to show up, and we need to see qualities of yourself. Like, how do you look like on camera? How do you do that? As much as it can be uncomfortable, we want to see your qualities. I'm thinking alongside those lines as well. And I do agree, yes, it looks like currently paper resumes or CVs are being scrapped out. From our previous statement that I had, now you need to retire, which is okay as well. Because, there's a lot of information that you can think of whilst you're still applying. So, like, okay, I did 1, 2, and 3, and I think that's a good skill to have as well. I can put it in this because they are asking this type of question. You've seen in LinkedIn when you apply, there's certain questions that they are asking prior your interview or as you are applying as well. So that's in a way shows that this paper resumes will be eliminated as well. So I think that's just my thinking around it. I don't know.
Yeah, so what an interesting statement, that one. Because there's the element of unconscious bias. And for me, as a facilitator within work readiness, I'm one of those that discourage people from putting their pictures on their CVs, especially if it's not relevant. If you are not applying for a model job or an actor, or where I want to say almost your looks might matter to the application, then for me it's a no. And having video applications will create even more bias. Because remember, with a picture, it is a 2D form, so it's just how you look. With a video, there's now more unconscious bias. The person is hearing your voice, they're hearing your accent. So there's more prejudice that could happen without them knowing. Because that's the whole point of unconscious bias. You aren't even aware that I have this bias towards somebody who looks this way, somebody who speaks this way, somebody who's got hair like this. Because I use myself always as an example. If there's a hiring manager who has unconscious bias towards people with dreadlocks, I might never get a job because they might have their own thoughts about dreadlocks. And so you always want to give yourself a fair opportunity. And the thing about a video, I still feel, is that yes, you are speaking and you are sharing, but it isn't giving you the opportunity for the person to ask questions and for you to respond, like how an interview, because that's my thing, it's always is that the interview will give me that opportunity to walk in and I can explain myself. If you have a thought, you can raise it, and so yeah, in as much as, and also it takes a lot of work, like what Tato said, and it's not for everybody. Like, not everybody wants to record videos, and it's almost like we want people to become influencers in the place of work. Yeah, so I do think, and I mean, yes, there's great advancement in the hiring with ATS and all these others, but I don't think we must get it confused. Like he said, leave entertainment platforms to be entertainment platforms, and let's have other things focusing in the hiring spaces. So that wraps up our first game that we had of Hot Takes. We're now going to do our second game that we're going to play, and this one is called Green Flag, Red Flag. What flag are you? I'm going to be sharing statements with our guests this morning, and they will then be voting, is this statement a green flag or a red flag? Everybody got the rules of the game? You are ready to choose your side, your pick, and you will explain why you think so. So the very first scenario is a statement that says, we don't really have job titles here. Everyone just pitches in where needed. Is this a green flag or a red flag? Yeah! Everybody's like a red flag! Why, given you were the first one to pick us?
We spoke about growth, and I think having a title gives you direction. There's nothing wrong on doing certain activities that are not aligning with your title because you are assisting in being a team player. However, having because you need to go post on your LinkedIn and say, this is my job, this is what I do, and so forth and so forth. But if you don't have that job title, it limits you. Even you can't update even your resume to say, this is the task that I'm doing and everything. You can pull that are aligning to your job title, right? So that's why for me it's a red flag, because it doesn't give you a direction.
Jablani?
Oh,
Can
yes.
it jump?
Yes, I think it's a red flag. Yeah, due to, I think you need to know at some point. I agree with Mr. Given that you have to know what's your job title, what you need to do at work. Like, I believe, like, in order to be able and be productive, you need to know what do you have to do, what do you have in your hands that you are able to do. And I think that to do with LinkedIn, like even a job title, it just gives you that confidence, like it does, to say, no, I'm a video creation coordinator. So like it does give you that upliftment to say, no, I'm recognized, I'm being able to do anything I can, like under that job title.
The statement is a red flag, and as Mr. Given said, I do agree with his statement that yes, I may have the title of being an assistant facilitator, but there are tasks that will require me to work with Jablan, who's in value creation. So me being a assistant facilitator does not mean that I strictly have to focus on what assistant facilitators do. I can also help where I can, and yeah.
Okay. On to the next one. The interviewer asks, do you have kids? We love parents here.
Yes.
Must we have a 30-second countdown here?
I'm in between. Are we allowed
No, you must choose one. No in between. So I see red all over here. Jablani,
Yes,
why red?
I took some time answering that one. Yeah, I'm in between. So I think, yeah, but yes. So it's a green flag in some other way to say, in order, like I could in some point have like issues at home, like I do have to attend to them with the child, or like my child is sick or anything like that. So the hiring manager will know, okay, I'm hiring this person already has a child or has someone like to take care of. And also on some other side, yeah, it just goes deeper to me to say, like, why would you ask that kind of a question, to say, do you have a child? And whereby, like, it's personal towards me and my side. Yes, I think.
Tato? You were also, it took you a very long time to vote on this one.
Yes, I'm in between, and the reason for that, I agree with Jablani. As the hiring manager, he or she needs to know as to whether one has kids or not. And the reason for that, for example, when the kid is sick, it's not going to come to you as a shock. Or how Tato has kids, you know. And then another reason for that, maybe, for example, you work at a company that works night shift and day shift. And then in that way, they'll know that, okay, we cannot count Tato in for night shift because she has kids. She'll only work day shift. So, yeah.
Yeah, I also agree with that too. I think the statement would be a green flag if it ended by, do you have kids? We love kids here sounds a bit dodgy and biased, all of that. So if you have kids, maybe we're trying to find out how do we balance your life and your work life in some sort. So as Tato was explaining. So hey, for me, that's why I took some time to that. I'm trying to understand we love kids here. I'm trying to understand the meaning of we love kids here. Because it's a place of work, we love kids. Or maybe it's a ECD institution. Okay, I could understand. But any other corporate company, we love kids here. And maybe if they're not producing or doing anything that involves, because kids, I'm thinking toddlers that is still in primary school, I'm not sure. So I think for me, that we love kids makes it a huge red flag. It sounds dodgy.
Okay. So my thoughts on this one, I'm going to chip in here, is that, again, coming back to unconscious bias, you never want to give somebody an opportunity to make assumptions about you. So often assumptions that are made on if somebody has a kid or they're a parent is that maybe they won't be fully committed to their work. Even Tato, with your night shift thing, there are many parents who have kids who work night shift. So leave it to me to decide, whether I'll take the job or not, or so forth. But somebody can then automatically assume, because you're a parent, we're not giving you the job because the job requires night shift work. So I think that's the challenge for me, is that it just creates unnecessary bias to say that, we only, and to the other side as well, we're only hiring people that don't have kids so that we can just work them to the bone because they can never have an excuse of life or other things as well. So, it isn't a question that should be there, and I think it does build, again, unconscious bias.
Yeah.
Question number 3. Hey, we love these hiring managers. The hiring manager admits and says, I've been in this role for 5 years and I still learn something new every day. Is this a green flag or a red flag?
Yeah.
Green flags all around. Finally, some green flags. Tato, why do you think this is a green flag? 5 years and they still learn something new.
Okay. It's a green flag because when applying for a job, the aim is to grow and not stay in one place. So for the fact that the manager is able to disclose such, it will also give one hope that, okay, me being in this company means growth. I will not stay in one place and I'll continue learning, probably out of my department if the workplace has different departments. Yes.
Given?
Yeah, for me, it's nothing much about the years of they've been working, but them being open, that they are open to learning every day and they're willing to share with their subordinates. So it shows that everybody should be optimistic and try to grow as well. So, yeah.
And you,
Yeah, it's a green flag due to it's really exciting to learn something new. And as a person in an interview, I really want to grow and learn more. That means like after 2 years, I would learn something new. And then after 2 years, I'm doing something new. So I'm not like channeled in one thing whereby like over and over again, I'm doing this thing Monday to Friday. So yeah, I think it's a green flag because like we need to grow and make sure we uplift ourselves, and the company is that step towards that.
Okay, I agree with you guys, definitely. Our next statement says to us, if you receive an offer within 2 hours after the interview, you receive an offer 2 hours after the interview, green flag, red flag. Very interesting. Green flag. Tell me why, Given.
All right. I was too good in the interview, and they were looking to fill in the position as well, because probably they might lose me as well because I'm in the job market. That's how I'm thinking about it, because obviously they were interviewing to fill the post, so they found the right person at that time, so they're not wasting time to lose that person. Yeah.
Tato.
It's a green flag because you would have met the requirements, and as Given said, you did well in the interview. But I'm also in between. And the reason I'm saying this is, what if you got the offer because they urgently need someone to fill in the position? So it's an in-between situation. Yes.
Yes, yeah, it's a green flag for me. I'll talk from experience to say, yeah, I've also like been in that situation whereby after 2 hours, a few hours or so, I was called and said, oh no, you passed your interview, you will start on this particular day. So I think at some point, like I would say it's you do get to that post, or say, sorry about that, to get to that position whereby they say, no, this person was overly done, like the CV is perfect, the interview went perfect. And yeah, I think, 2 hours is enough to me.
So I'm not playing, I suppose, technically, right? But if I was playing, I would actually be leaning more on this. And the reason is because, so it also depends. I agree with you guys on that it depends. Also, size of business also matters. It would make sense if, let's say, it's a company and it's a small team and it's not a big organization. But I've seen it be a really big red flag, especially when bigger organizations, because it shows desperation in it, and it also shows potentially a high turnover rate of people, which means that people leave very quickly in that organization when they want to hire people so quickly as well. It shows that the company, there's a lack of planning and succession that is in there. So I just wanted to bring the flip there to make people also aware of that. So just look out with that, all right? Our next statement reads, the company mentions that they have a dedicated budget for professional development listed as one of their benefits packages. Is this a green flag or a red flag? I'm very... Whoa, okay. Must I repeat the question?
Please.
Okay, for the statement, not the question.
As they repeat the question.
Given already given is like, I'm not changing my mind. The company mentions that they have a dedicated budget for professional development listed as one of the benefits packages. So a benefits package for you is that they would have professional development. So that means if you want to further your studies, they have a budget allocated as part of your benefits. Is that a green flag or a red flag?
A big green flag. A huge green flag.
The planning says, what do you mean? As a person who's always studying here, you know what sponsors?
I too was sponsors.
But yes, take us to your...
But it's dedicated. So
both Jabulani decide. It's a red flag. Yes.
So I would say in the past few years since I've been here at Novalo, maybe I've been at my studies 3 or 2 times, and it cost a lot.
Yes.
So in order to get that dedicated, there's a potential whereby you might not, as a company, as employees in that company. So I would say from my side, in order, let's have an open, an open budget whereby each and everyone who comes and say, no, I want to do this particular course, and then that person can be allowed to do so. And then when Mr. Given comes and then they say no, the budget has depleted or whatsoever. So that's it brings a lot of a green and a red flag, but for me it's a red flag for myself.
Okay, Tato?
It's a green flag. It's a green flag, yes. Because the company is helping me to pay my studies. If I were to pay my studies out of my salary, it can be a bit tricky because it means having to cut a few things off. But whereas maybe if the company can pay a certain amount, I can top it up. So it's a green flag.
It goes without saying, guys. It's free money for you to study. Right? Of course, yes, there will be some terms and conditions. Maybe probably you must be with the company after getting your qualification for a year or 2. But that's not even the difficult thing to have. So we spoke about growth throughout our conversations today, that you need to grow. But growth means study. And studying needs money and time. So I think that investment might probably come up with allocating time for you to have your studies. So yeah, it's expensive to study.
All right. No, thank you very much. That was very, very insightful. I think we wrapped up that game in a great way of having some difference in opinions and how we view things. But that's the beauty of it, is that in the professional world, there'll always be some others who think differently, and also that's why we bring the red flag, green flags, because in relationships, not everybody can identify the red flags. And it's also good that we need to establish when organizations are doing good things and those green flags that are there, and that we give them acknowledgement on that. And that's a wrap for red flag, green flag. Our last game that we're going to be playing is called Nightmare Scenarios. Have you guys had those awkward things that have happened to you in the workplace, or when you're going for your interview and the thing that you wish could never happen actually happens? What did you do? And let's hear, what would you guys do if this was the situation for you? Let's help somebody out today in solving problems, okay? We have the first one, which is a tech failure. Has happened to most of us. The Zoom freezes 5 minutes into the final interview with the CEO. You can't get back in. What is your immediate next step? Given?
Report it immediately.
Yes.
How?
Write an email to the person you were communicating with. Probably during the interview, you might not have the correct email with the CEO, which is in the interview, but you've been communicating with the HR personnel. Just write them an email explaining and apologize for the situation, because clearly you can't do anything at that moment, unless if you have backup. But backup will take time, and then remember, they are really working on time, because if it freezes, it might be a problem with the computer, and if you have to go into another computer, it might take time, and which is time that they don't have. But clearly apologizing and accepting the failure might turn out good for you.
Tato, what would you do?
I agree with Given. Okay, write an email apologizing, and if possible, ask to reschedule, just in case it may be important information was missed out.
Well
Yeah.
said.
Yes, I do also agree with the team. So, but my immediate one will be a call.
Yes, thank you,
Yes.
Jablani.
Yes.
Was waiting for it.
Yes, I will just take up a call and then communicate my technical difficulties and then try to reschedule for a later time.
Great solutions here. I hope you are paying close attention. Ooh, outfit malfunction. You spill coffee on your white shirt 2 minutes before walking into reception for your interview. Do you mention it? Do you hide it? Or do you ignore it? Tato.
I will definitely mention it. Because, I mean, it's a white shirt after all. Yes, I'll try to clean it up, but possibilities are that the stain is going to show. So I'll definitely mention and apologize, but still continue the interview.
Okay, Given, what would you do?
It would be really hard to hide a stain on a white shirt. And just not talking about it is going to be awkward, because clearly they will be focusing on like, they want to know what really happened. So yes, mentioning it and talking about it, just explain, maybe crack a little bit of a joke so that they just forget really about it and focus more about what you're going to say. Yeah, that's definitely what I would do.
Yes, definitely mention it. There's no other way, like it can be seen, and there's no other way, like you can hide it from at that moment, or you can either sometimes reschedule as well. Just to have some time and look properly, like we said, like you must look presentable on an interview. So wearing a white shirt that has a stain, sometimes it might also be biased as well.
That's valid. If you have a gymophobe, somebody who's scared of germs, and now they're looking at you with your white shirt, they're like, I'm never hiring this one. But I was also going to say, other solutions and other things is that I always encourage people when they go for interviews, be prepared for anything. So having an extra shirt might not be a bad idea. I remember at varsity, our flip-flops or sandals that ladies wear, I used to carry an extra pair of flip-flops in my bag because they would snap mid-campus walking around. So Yeah, I suppose can be a lot of other things that you can do there, but definitely not ignore. Nobody said ignore. You can't ignore it. Right. Now we say the name game. Ooh-wee. Let's hear what this statement reads. This statement says, you realize halfway through the interview, you have been calling the interviewer Sarah, but her name is actually Sandra. How do you recover? Who wants to go first? I'm not going to put anything. Who wants to go first?
Okay. I'll go first.
Yes.
I think it's an honest mistake. It's the first time you're meeting this person in an interview. Yes, they did formally introduce themselves, and I'm one person who does bad with names. There's somebody in the office that I had to call them by their surname up until I get used to the name, because in the office they were calling them by their name. I'm really bad. So having to just acknowledge your mistakes, like really apologize. I've been calling you Sandra, and like, by the way, it sounds the same, so you probably just excuse me, or please.
Next, thoughts?
Yeah, as given, I agree with Given. You firstly have to apologize. Apologize and say it correctly going forward, I guess. Yeah, it's tricky. It's a tricky situation.
It's a really tough situation.
Because I'm also thinking along the lines of you realizing and joking about it, but the person might not receive it well, and then things might take a turn off.
So then my question, Jablan, just before you answer, if like in Tato's scenario, do you do that immediately as you realize, or do you wait until the end?
Wait until the end. But no, waiting until the end means you saying the wrong name until the end.
Okay, let's hear Jablani's take.
Yes, I'd say like wait until the end, until like you're done with the interview, and just go apologize. Hey, sorry, Sandra, I called you by Sarah during the interview. I apologize for that. And during the interview, we caused some distractions and so on. So I think wait until the end of the interview.
And also, I would say, don't continue. Once you realize the mistake, stop referring to the person by their name to avoid making the mistake again as you continue the interview. Given you had a thought.
Yeah, I'm thinking of what are the chances of you getting a chance to go back to them after the interview. Maybe if probably if they say, okay, thank you for your time, we'll give you a call and everything. If it was a sit-in interview with multiple panels in an interview. So
you don't just walk out. You actually go to the person and you say, I realized that I made this mistake
before leaving.
Yes, before leaving. Don't just leave and then want to call, because they're in the moment of you called me XYZ. But I agree with you guys as well that you might create a distraction now during the interview if you correct it like at that particular point in time. Sure, whoever came up with these. Last one that we have for today is the surprise test. You walk in and they hand you a marker and they say to you, draw our business model on this whiteboard. You have no idea what their business model is. What are you going to draw?
No idea.
Should you be honest and tell them I don't know the business model?
Okay. So, Tato, is that your final answer?
I think I'd be honest. Yeah, honesty is key.
Yeah, I agree with Tato, because what are you going to draw? And then, because now, what they are getting is that, okay, is this what you think of us as a company? Is this what you're selling?
You do something wrong.
We do something wrong. So I think becoming honest, and then from there you learn from your mistake. You now go back home after it's like, what is the business model of the company I work for? So,
yeah, definitely. nightmare scenarios. Have you guys ever had any of these happen to you?
Yeah, even a lot as a facilitator. Not me, but the facilitator that we were working with. The situation where one candidate was the dress code. When you're in a college, we don't care. So they dressed the way they were dressed with a miniskirt, and then the facilitator had asked them, please sit properly because you, and then I asked them, what are you looking at? So it became an issue of like, now how do we address this? First of all, we never had a dress code to students, and now we have a situation where facilitators are looking at us. And it's not now, is it because of how you're wearing or because of it? That's who they are. That's the question. So yeah, these are some of the scenarios or situations we had to face as facilitators in the past as well.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that. And I think that is so important, and it's going to bring us to the next episode that will be coming in and talking about job seeker and how should you prepare for the place of work when it comes to your CV, when it comes to preparing for interviews, and what to wear and maybe what not to wear is something to consider. Thank you so much, panelists and my guests that we had on today. I hope you enjoyed the games that we play, and I hope that you'll say yes when we reach out to you and call you again.
Tato?
I'll definitely come.
Thank you so very much for watching this episode that we had today with our great guests that added such a fun element into it. There were some disagreements. We didn't all agree on certain statements or things, but that is all part of life. And we want you to continue this conversation. And the exciting thing is that there's a follow-up on this. On some of these nightmare scenarios that were discussed today, some of the green flags and red flags that might exist. In our next episode, we're going to have some experts in these areas who are going to tell us perhaps why do they keep doing these red flag things when it comes to the business, or their advice on how you should turn things around when you find yourself in a nightmare scenario. We look forward to engaging with you and to seeing us in our next episode. For now, we want you to please subscribe. We want you to like this episode and also, of course, comment on this episode so that we can keep up bringing you great and exciting topics affecting young people.